The conversation inside the Toronto Blue Jays front office right now is not about what Daulton Varsho does for this team in April of 2026. It's about what his value represents for 2027 and beyond. A new trade proposal from Bleacher Report has landed, and it forces Ross Atkins to confront a critical question. Is a Gold Glove caliber center fielder, in his final year of team control, more valuable to the current roster or as a trade chip to reload a farm system for the next competitive wave? The proposal on the table comes from the Detroit Tigers, a team clearly in win-now mode with the Tarek Skubal free agency clock ticking loudly. They're proposing to send 3 prospects to Toronto in exchange for Varsho. Specifically, the package is infielder Hao-Yu Lee, the Tigers' number 7 prospect, along with left-handed pitcher Jake Miller and outfielder Jackson Strong. From Detroit's perspective, this is a no-brainer. They have a glaring hole in center field with Parker Meadows on the injured list, and Varsho provides an immediate, elite defensive upgrade. We're talking about a player who has accumulated a staggering 45 defensive runs saved since he put on a Blue Jays uniform in 2023. That's not just good, it's transformative for a pitching staff. But for Toronto, this isn't about solving Detroit's problems, it's about maximizing an asset. Varsho is a free agent after this season, and the likelihood of a long-term extension, given the money already committed to players like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, and George Springer, is slim. This is the definition of selling high. Let's break down the potential return, because that's where a deal lives or dies for the Blue Jays. The centerpiece is clearly Hao-Yu Lee. He's the kind of player profile this front office has historically coveted, a high-contact, disciplined infielder with positional versatility. Currently at AA Erie, Lee has shown an advanced approach at the plate, consistently posting a walk rate above 10% and keeping his strikeout numbers in check. While he doesn't project as a 30-homer threat, scouts believe he has enough gap power to develop into a 15 to 20 home run guy at the major league level, likely profiling as a second baseman. Think about the Blue Jays' infield pipeline. With Orelvis Martinez now establishing himself at the big league level, the next wave of infield talent is crucial. Adding Lee provides another high-floor option who could be ready for a look in Buffalo by the end of this year and potentially competing for a spot in Toronto by mid-2027. He's not a flashy top 100 prospect, but he's a safe bet to become a solid major league contributor, and that has immense value when you're trying to build sustainable depth. The other 2 pieces, Jake Miller and Jackson Strong, are what the industry calls lottery tickets. Miller, a left-handed pitcher, has shown flashes in the lower levels of the minors. He works with a low to mid-90s fastball and a sweeping slider that generates a high number of swings and misses against left-handed hitters. The question for the Blue Jays player development complex in Dunedin would be whether they can refine his command and develop a reliable third pitch to project him as a starter. More likely, they see him as a future high-leverage relief option from the left side, something every contending team needs. Jackson Strong is a pure upside play, a toolsy outfielder with plus speed and raw power, but with significant swing and miss in his game. He's a project. You acquire a player like Strong and hope your development staff can unlock his potential, helping him refine his approach and cut down on the strikeouts. If they hit, you have a dynamic, cost-controlled outfielder in 3 to 4 years. If not, the initial acquisition cost was low enough to absorb the miss. This package is a classic Atkins special, one relatively safe, close to the majors piece, and 2 high-variance players with intriguing tools. Now let's pivot to the immediate, and frankly, jarring impact this would have on the 2026 Blue Jays. Who plays center field at Rogers Center tomorrow? Trading Varsho creates a defensive black hole. The obvious internal candidate is George Springer, but moving a 36-year-old Springer from right field back to center field full-time is a significant defensive downgrade and increases his injury risk. Nathan Lukes is a capable 4th outfielder and a solid defender, but he doesn't possess the game-changing range of Varsho, and his bat doesn't profile as an everyday solution. His WRC plus has consistently hovered just below league average. This move would put immense pressure on the corner outfielders and the entire pitching staff. The ground that Varsho covers allows the corner guys to shade more towards the lines. It allows pitchers to attack the zone with more confidence, knowing that balls hit to the gaps have a higher probability of being caught. You remove that security blanket, and you might see the xFIP and ERA of pitchers like Kevin Gausman and Jose Berrios tick upwards. John Schneider's in-game management also gets more complicated, losing his best defensive replacement and a key left-handed bat with pop. However, there's a financial and roster flexibility component that cannot be ignored. Varsho is in his final year of arbitration and is likely earning somewhere in the $12 to $15 million range this season. Removing that salary from the books provides Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins with significant breathing room as we approach the July 31st trade deadline. That money could be reallocated to acquire a different type of asset, perhaps a rental high-leverage reliever or a bat to fill a different hole, without pushing the team further into competitive balance tax territory. This front office is always playing the long game, balancing the present against the future, and freeing up that salary is a major strategic advantage. So, what's the verdict? This is a trade that would undoubtedly make the 2026 Toronto Blue Jays a worse defensive team, and likely a slightly worse team overall. Varsho's bat has been solid this year, with an .27 OPS, and his power-speed combination is rare. Losing that hurts the immediate chase for a playoff spot. But this is the kind of unsentimental, value-driven decision that has defined this front office. They would be trading a player at his absolute peak value, a half-season away from free agency, for 3 young, controllable assets that address a long-term need to replenish the farm system. It's a bet on their own player development, a bet that they can turn Hao-Yu Lee into a starting-caliber infielder and potentially hit a home run with Miller or Strong. It's a painful move for the present, but it's a logical, strategic play for the sustained health of the organization. It signals a slight pivot, not a full rebuild, but a retooling on the fly to ensure the window of contention with the core of Vladdy, Bo, and pitchers like Ricky Tiedemann stays open for as long as possible. This is the type of rumor that will test the resolve of the fan base and the direction of the franchise. Do you go all in for 2026? Or do you make the pragmatic move for 2027 and beyond? The answer will tell us everything we need to know about the Blue Jays' blueprint for winning a championship. If you appreciate this kind of in-depth, no-nonsense analysis of the Blue Jays, make sure to hit that like button. It lets us know you want more content that goes beyond the box score. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss our breakdown the second any news, trade, or rumor drops. We'll be here to cover it all as the trade deadline picture becomes clearer.